Live from WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Rockford's police chief closes the chapter in the Forest City. Community leaders react to the legacy Dan O'Shea leaves behind.
Eyewitness News is your local election headquarters. With just 2 hours before they close, we take a live look at a state line polling place to see how many people cast their ballots in the consolidated election.
Plus, the vice president spends the day in Illinois. Kamala Harris's message for vaccinated people and those who have yet to roll up their sleeves. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. Rockford first responder scene sees another major change.
A few weeks after management changes are announced at Rockford Fire, Chief of Police Dan O'Shea says he plans to retire at the end of the month. Dylan Siraki reports on the impact O'Shea has made in his years in the Forest City.
Rockford Police Chief Dan O'Shea's last day on the job is April 30th. We told you last week he planned to move on this year after being upfront about his desire to work in the Forest City for only 5 years when he was sworn in back in 2016. City leaders say there have been decreases in property crime, aggravated assaults, robberies, and auto thefts during his tenure. Overall, violent crime is down nearly 16% since O'Shea started in the position. Rockford Mayor Tom McNamara says his impact on the Forest City extends far beyond his success in reducing violent crime.
Bringing about the co-responder model and how we handle mental health crisis calls, if it's investing in domestic violence and human trafficking prevention work, or investing in our youth and such programs like Camp Hope, I think he's done a great job.
The Board of Fire and Police Commissioners will now start the process to find a new chief. They're also working to replace Fire Chief Derek Bergston, who is leaving for a new job in May. Coming up tonight at 6, I'll have more on what the board is expecting from the search. In Rockford, for your home team, I'm Dylan Siraki.
Today is the consolidated election. We're following several local races here in the state line.
There are just a couple of hours left to cast your vote if you still need to. Alexis Carpello is live outside a Rockford polling place. Alexis, you checked out a few places today. What have you seen?
Yeah, that's right, Eric and Mimi. Well, here at City First Church on Spring Creek Road, those coming to vote will have no wait time as of right now. Polling places in Winnebago County have been open since 6 this morning and will close at 7. There's over 15 locations that are campaign-free polling places. City First Church is one of them. I got up with one voter who tells me no matter what election, he always comes out to vote.
I come to vote because it's important, no matter if it's a small election or not, so you cannot complain if you don't vote. Right. So for me it's important because for 10 years I was not able to vote because I was on the process to become a U.S. citizen.
Coming up at 6 on Eyewitness News, I'll explain more of what the voting process has been like today. But for now, reporting live in Rockford for your home team, I'm Alexis Carpello.
Thanks, Alexis. We'll see you then. Tune in to Eyewitness News at 9 and 10 tonight for up-to-date election results from races across the state line. We'll also have numbers as they come in over at mystateline.com.
Vice President Kamala Harris pays a visit to the city of Chicago. The VP sat in on a union vaccination event at Jewel Osco. Health officials gave 800 union members the Johnson & Johnson dose today and hope to have 2,400 workers vaccinated by the end of the week. Harris encouraged each attendee to share their vaccine stories and inspire others to get the shot.
We're all here to make a statement that we understand the significance of getting vaccinated, that it's bigger than us. We're doing it because we know we are part of a community. We are doing it because we know that we will do it in a way that saves our lives, but the lives of our family members and our friends in our community.
Labor reps say about 2/3 of union workers are people of color.
State health officials say Illinois meets one of the metrics required to move into the bridge phase of the Restore Illinois plan. The state reports 72% of those 65 and older have been fully vaccinated. The state's ICU bed capacity metric is within range at 27%, but it needs to stay above 20% for 28 days. Illinois is not meeting the other required metrics, which include new hospital admissions for COVID-19, hospitalized patients with the virus, and daily case counts. Our Region 1 county prepares to immunize teenagers against the virus. Lee County has opened registration to 16 and 17-year-olds for a vaccination clinic next weekend. That clinic will be held April 17th at KSB's Town Square Center in Dixon. Teens will receive their first Pfizer dose Find a link to register over at mystateline.com.
The city of Rockford's hitting the pavement on its mission to improve road conditions.
Over the next few weeks, crews will use tools to collect data on local streets. Ari Bruckman joins us with more on the process and when drivers can expect a smoother ride. Ari?
Eric and Mimi, anyone who drives through Rockford knows about dodging potholes, cracks, or any other problems on the streets. Well, the city is starting the process of getting the worst of the roads fixed.
Basically, what's called a laser crack measurement system, or LCMS van. It drives down the road measuring cracking, rutting, and roughness.
A citywide pavement condition assessment operation is underway in Rockford. This van is being driven across the city to measure and collect data to figure out which roads need the most work.
It's immediately downloaded to our we have some hard drives in the back here.
The van is equipped with laser sensors on the bar on the front bumper, measuring elevation, roughness, and rutting, as well as on the back, which measure cracking. AP Tech Program Director Mark Gardner says the data is transmitted immediately to their computers.
It will take roughly 15 days to do our data collection, covering almost 1,000 city miles of roadway. After that, we'll have a few weeks of processing and workstation surveys.
In the 9 years Tara Erdmeyer has lived in Rockford with her family, she's seen how bad the roads can be.
When my 4-year-old was born, my husband was coming from where he works, which is over by Chipotle on Perryville, to Swedish American and got a flat tire on the way to pick me and our new baby up. So this was late at night too, so we had to have somebody come help him out, and the same thing happened with her.
When it's all over, Gardner will hand all of the data over to the city.
What this allows them to do is say, if you give us this amount of money, this is what it looks like in 5 years. If you give us this amount of money, this is what it looks like in 5 years.
The city tells me this assessment is done every 3 years, and they'll take this information to prioritize future road projects and repair options. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Ari. A donation ensures Rockford's homeless community will continue to find shelter at a local nonprofit. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois gave $20,000 to Shelter Care Ministries. Shelter Care's executive director says the money will give families it supports more opportunities to receive housing and supporting services, especially at a time when COVID is still a threat.
People rely on. They're really important. They're vital. Anyone that was housed in one of our programs didn't have to worry about living in a communal shelter where they were going to be at an increased risk of getting COVID.
Blue Cross donated to more than 170 organizations across Illinois. Grants were through Blue Cross's COVID-19 Community Collaboration Fund.
Swedish American's Women and Children's Hospital welcomes its first newborns. 10 babies were shuttled from the old Level 3 NICU in the main hospital to the brand new center in the Charles Street facility. We are about to meet Briggs. He was born 5 weeks early and needs a little help with eating. Nurses and doctors are able to help him and other newborns in the 4-story hospital. Briggs' mom, Mackenzie, says it's exciting to be one of the first families to receive treatment in a private suite.
The minute walking in here, it was nice seeing the brightness kind of it and all of the windows. It's beautiful.
Mackenzie says she's counting down the days until Briggs can come home and spend more time with his big brother, Bennett.
Republicans push to stop a sweeping voting rights package from passing in the Senate.
Coming up next, one senator claims the bill will only benefit, quote, radical people.
Plus, a violent start to the week in Chicago. Coming up tonight at 6, shootings send multiple people to the hospital, including a toddler.
Not quite record warmth for us this afternoon, but also not that far away. Find out if we could reach another 80-degree day tomorrow and when the rain moves in. That's all coming up in your most trusted forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Sports Director Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
As many Democrats in Congress push for the passage of a sweeping voter rights package, Republicans work to stop it.
Our Washington correspondent Kelly Meyer reports on the growing debate over voting rights on Capitol Hill as she keeps you connected to the nation's capital.
The contents of this bill should scare everybody.
South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham is trying to stop a voting rights bill from advancing through Congress.
I see a political effort to institutionalize voting at the federal level on terms most advantageous to the most radical people in the country.
Democrats on Capitol Hill believe the bill is needed to expand voting access. But Graham and South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster argue the legislation is really a power grab by Democrats to control states' elections.
Hard to believe that this bill has actually passed the House of Representatives.
The pushback from Republicans comes as the backlash builds against Georgia's new law tightening voting rules. Major League Baseball moved its 2021 All-Star Game out of Atlanta this week, shifting the game to Colorado.
To Major League Baseball, you don't know what you're talking about.
President Biden says it is encouraging to see businesses speaking up about what he calls new Jim Crow laws, but says the decision is up to the individual corporation or group.
The best way to deal with this is for Georgia and other states to smarten up. Stop it.
The president says passing the voting rights legislation in the Senate could counter Republicans' restrictions. Reporting in Washington, I'm Kelly Meyer.
Now, your first warm weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
Well, I sure hope you were able to get out and make the most of this beautiful afternoon as temperatures today made it into the upper 70s and low 80s, more typical of the type of weather we would have during the month of June rather than the beginning of April. Lots of sunshine, but we're starting to see some of that cloud cover kind of build back in and filtering out a little bit of the sun here early this evening. A live look with the Mercy House SkyTrack camera out of the Poplar Grove Airport. As far as our temperatures today, we made it up to 81 degrees. Our first average 80-degree high temperature usually occurs towards the end of the month, April 23rd. Our earliest 80-degree day, guys, remember March 2012? That was a very hot spring and summer. March 15th, our earliest 80-degree day. Our latest, June 1st, 1973. We could make a run for that 80-degree mark again tomorrow, but the difference is going to be a little more cloud cover and the chance for some rain coming up as early as tomorrow afternoon. Still at 80 in Rockford, 77 in Freeport, 76 in Rochelle, and 77 right now in DeKalb. We're hanging on to that southerly wind, but look at the left part of this map. There's some big changes on the horizon in the form of a cold front and a low pressure system that'll be moving closer to us by this time tomorrow. 81 for Bob here in Rockford, 80 for Ben in South Beloit, 78 for our weather watcher Ken in Belvedere, and 77. A little more cloud cover out there north of Forested. And we have had clouds increase here over the last couple of hours in response to that storm system that is off to our west. Area of low pressure really starting to gain strength over eastern Colorado. Now, this is going to be a slow moving low. So tomorrow is going to be another warm day, but by Thursday, we've got that cold front coming through. So let's walk through these next couple of days because that chance for rain goes up. And while not a washout for tomorrow, there are a couple of times where we'll have to watch where we could have to dodge some rain and even a couple of thunderstorms. Not going to worry about that though for tonight. Things will stay fairly dry going into tomorrow morning. But look what happens as early as noon. We could start to see kind of our first wave of shower, isolated thunderstorm activity work in during the early afternoon. And that's what would limit our warmth for tomorrow. If that band doesn't occur and we end up with more breaks in the cloud cover, then yes, we will likely make it into the upper 70s, close to 80 degrees once again. A few scattered showers will take us into tomorrow evening, but a better chance for more widespread rain likely coming after about 9 and 10 o'clock tomorrow evening, and then those scattered showers staying with us throughout the day on Thursday. Thursday, we're not going to see a big drop in the temperatures, but we are going to get a little bit of cooler air coming in, which will drop those numbers into the 60s, and we'll have a fair amount of cloud cover with that as well. Now, any risk for severe weather for tomorrow, staying more focused over Missouri, Arkansas, and Mississippi. Could see a couple of stronger storms extending into central and south central Iowa, but I think most of that strong to severe weather will stay confined to our west. 56 degrees, that's where we end up for tonight. Cloud cover will thicken up, going with a high tomorrow of 75, kind of banking on the fact that we will end up with a couple of showers midday. But again, if we don't, then that temperature will go up just a bit. We then have a parade of low pressure systems that'll be coming in. First one coming coming in Wednesday. This one meanders going into the weekend. Next one coming in on Saturday, and then our next one after that early next week. So you can see here on the 7-day forecast what that's going to do to our temperatures as well as the cloud cover. Bring us a few scattered showers on and off here as we go through the end of the week and then into the weekend, and some of that even extending into early next week.
The Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Leber.
Fighting Illini fans knew this was coming, but it's still not easy to stomach. Ayo Dosunmu has declared himself eligible for the NBA draft. He'll hire an agent and pass on his final 2 seasons of eligibility. You knew it was coming because Dosunmu went through the draft process a year ago, but he never hired an agent. And with the pandemic creating a lot of uncertainty, he decided to return to Champaign. Is the NBA ready? For certain he is. He's not going to step into the league and be an instant all-star, but he'll get minutes off the bench right away. This season, he averaged more than 20.6 rebounds and 5 assists per game. Plus, he's a very good defensive player. Dosunmu is about as well-rounded as they come, and he was clutch in tight games. His versatility makes him attractive to NBA scouts. But there isn't any 1 or 2 things that you could point to and say Dosunmu does exceptionally well right now. Because of that, he's not projected to be a top 10 pick in the draft. Some draft ratings have him being picked around 20th. But he's always going to be number 1 with Fighting Illini fans, though after the season that he just gave them. There's also big news for Badgers fans today. Wisconsin confirmed in a news release that Barry Alvarez is retiring. He'll step down in June. Alvarez spent 31 years with the Badgers, first as the head football coach and then as the athletic director. When he showed up in 1990, the football program was one of the doormats of the Big Ten. The Badgers hadn't been relevant in many years in football. But within 3 years, they won 10 games and won the Rose Bowl. The Badgers went on to win 3 Big Ten championships and 3 Rose Bowls while Alvarez was the head coach. And they've been one of the most consistently winning programs in the Big Ten, even after he stepped down as coach, thanks to the coaches Alvarez hired to follow him. Also, other Wisconsin sports teams have had great success while Alvarez has been the athletic director. They've won 16 national championships. If there was a Mount Rushmore Wisconsin Badger sports, Barry Alvarez's likeness would be one of the first choices for inclusion. His impact in Madison has been enormous. That's my take. We'll be right back.
First Warning Interactive Radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and more. We'll see a little more cloud cover kind of filter out some of the sunshine here for the rest of this evening. That'll keep our skies mostly cloudy for the night tonight. Temperature down to about 56 degrees. We're going to stay mostly dry here through the night. Can't say the same for tomorrow. Temperature after we made it to 81 degrees today. We're up to 75 for tomorrow, but a better chance for some rain. Could see that as early as the noon hour. Most likely Wednesday into Thursday. Scattered showers and cooler heading into the weekend.
What a beautiful day today. Thanks, Candice.
And thank you for spending some of your time with us. Stay safe.